Okay, so today's question is, what do you stand for?
I think I stand for starting over.
Starting over. I didn't expect that.
I have a school of thought that I stand by. It says the good you do today might be forgotten. Do good anyways. So I just stand for good vibes, be a positive influence. Anyone you come across in life, let them be glad they came across you. You just met me right now, so
Yeah.
hopefully I left a good impact.
What I'm standing for actually in Egypt, in my country, I was participating in the revolution in 2011.
Okay.
And it was a big moment for my generation. We lost. We got defeated at the end of the revolution. We didn't achieve what we wanted to have at the end. Since then, I am more leaning to the left.
Okay.
I have joined already a democratic socialist party in Egypt. I'm
Okay.
supporting all the socialists around the world. Why we didn't achieve something that we fought for at that? Because we were not organized enough. So the main thing is organizing. I think organizing ourselves, organizing the laborers, organizing the workers, organizing in the school, in the university, in the neighborhood,
Okay.
in the city. Just posting something on Facebook or Instagram or anything that I am for that or against that is not enough. You have to be part of something that collaboratively and organized enough in order to represent whatever you are saying. So this is the first step, I think, and the main step for any successful work is to be organized.
I stand for basic human rights. So I stand for Palestine and for Palestine to be free.
I would say I stand for morals, justice, and righteousness. So I'm a sergeant in the United States Army. I've been in 8 years now, and those morals, the morals that it takes to do something like that or to stand behind.
Could you be a little more specific, because morals is such a broad umbrella term?
So for somebody in the United States military, we got what we call the 7 Army values, which is leadership, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. All right, and that's the framework for everything that you do in life. All right, whether you're making a decision, whether you're leading people, leading your family, or just decisions to help further you in life.
Okay.
Morals is your compass. It's your direction where you're going. It's up to you to decide how you're going to get there.
Why is that your stance?
I think most of our lives, or at least throughout our early 20s, we think that we have to be one thing, or we're supposed to do something, or that there's a clock and we have to beat it, or we at least have to meet it. And I think that there's a really freeing moment where life doesn't go the way it's supposed to, and you get to start over, and it's the coolest thing you've ever done, and then your life is nothing like what you thought it was going to be, but it's better than you could have imagined. So I love starting over.
I don't know how personal you want to get, but could you tell us how you started it all over?
I mean, listen, I started off in a different religion. I grew up Mormon and decided that wasn't for me.
Okay.
I left that and then decided I also didn't want to be a middle school teacher, which is what I was doing at the time, and then risked everything and went to law school, and now I'm a lawyer and happier than I've ever been.
How'd you come by that quote or that stance?
So I remind myself every day, the good I do to people, the impact I have on other people's life, I shouldn't necessarily expect it back. If I get it back, that's fine, but if I don't, that should not deter me away from to continue to do good, make positive influence in other people's life. If I can be of any little help in any way, to make someone's life better, to help someone advance better in life, I'll do it.
And you said that these are from the Army. Did you have these morals before you went into the Army, or this is something that you were taught?
I would definitely say the Army helped me expand on these morals, but I'm also a Muslim. So Muslims live by a certain way of life. That righteousness that I was talking about, being kind to others, doing unto others as you would, like done to yourself, and putting others before yourself. Because ultimately, God is the one that's here for us. He's the only one that you have to have behind you. The power that He gives you, the resources that He gives you, is your job to help others with that.
So what rights exactly are you fighting for that you don't have in Egypt?
Globally, capitalism is it's very clear capitalism here in the US. You
Yes,
see it,
yes.
you can sense it. The impact of capitalism on the other people's life, especially in the third world, is a bit different. but it's giving the same results at the end because a very small amount of people or a portion of the population is very very rich, and the majority of the people is very very poor, which is hurting everyone. I don't want to live, even I am in a good shape economically or financially, but I'm not happy with that life because it's something inside you that lets you feel that if others are not living in the same standard of living, there is something missing in your life. It's not the life that you would like to see, that everyone around you is suffering.
What would you say to someone who is scared of starting over?
One way or another, it's going to happen. No one's life goes the way that they think it's going to go. So I think you just have to trust that the world's going to keep turning. Even if you feel like your world is over, it's going to keep turning. And one day you'll wake up, this will be your new normal, and you will realize that you're a lot stronger than you thought you were. So whether or not you want it to happen, it's going to happen.
Whether or not, okay, so if someone were to call you a quitter for starting over,
Okay, that's a really good question.
you wouldn't disagree, or?
No, I think it's so important to know when it's time to quit. When
it's time
things
to-
don't serve you anymore, you have to move
Things
on.
don't serve you anymore. Would you say that the opposition or capitalists are morally corrupt?
I cannot say that, like, yeah, I would believe that, but I don't believe that they mean it. All of them mean it.
Okay.
To be like, I believe there are some good people who are believing this capitalism is the right way. It has been proven that capitalism or that way of liberalism is making a lot of people richer, a lot of people poorer, which is not right. They might be thinking this is eventually the right way, sincerely from their, so I can't say they are corrupt, morally corrupt.
Okay. Should everyone take the same stance that you have, or is it okay for someone else to have a different view?
For this specific argument about Palestine, I feel like my stance is the correct stance, only because like people are like literally, children are dying, humans are dying, basic human right is not being met. So for this stance, yeah, I feel like my stance is the correct one.
Would you say that you're closed-minded on these morals, as in you don't plan on ever changing them, or could an argument ever be set on you changing them?
I do think your morals can change. I think the 7 that I listed are really important morals, strong morals. I do think that there are other values and other morals that are important in life, but I don't think I change my morals.
So when you set a goal,
Yes.
right? Do you set that goal and say, I'm gonna keep going as hard as I can until it's done? Or do you tend to say, it's not going right, let's just turn and see what else is around?
I mean, I think whenever you embark on something, you have to have the idea of finishing it. So I don't know that it's necessarily like quitting, or like that quitting is always an option. It's just at a certain point, I think we all realize when things aren't working for us anymore, or they're not serving us, and then you pivot and you move on. So I wouldn't say I ever go into anything half-assed. I do everything very big, and
Okay.
then once it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Let's say a liberal is one who is open-minded.
Okay.
Would you say that a person who is open-minded can have a true stance on something? Or are they prone to eventually be persuaded away?
So if you're open-minded, that just means that you're like more open to hearing, I guess, pushback on what your stance is. But overall, everyone like has a specific stance that they stand on, and even if you're a liberal, you could still have something you believe in and still classify yourself as open-minded, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. What do you do when your morals are being challenged? Is there a certain conversation that you have in your head, or?
Well, I say, of course, you do have to do a lot of like inward reflecting when your morals are challenged. Ultimately, it comes down to why. You know, like your morals are what guide you in the decisions that you make. So if those morals are being challenged, you gotta ask yourself, why are you doing the things that you're doing? What's the bigger picture? What's the bigger purpose? And usually gets me back on track.
Do you ever find yourself struggling to keep this stance when you hear pushback?
I find myself struggling because, of course, with such a huge stance, there's like things like boycotts and stuff like that, and at times it can be very hard when you like usually are like used to life a certain way, but to boycott it just for your stance. But honestly, the like boycott is worth it to know that you morally stand where you stand.
Do you ever struggle to keep these morals?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said before, you know, like nobody's perfect. Whether it's morals, whether it's the morals for, you know, like your personal life, or you know, trying to be righteous in the eyes of God. Nobody's perfect. You know, all of us fall short sometimes. But ultimately, like I said, it's that why. It's that why you're doing the things that you do. Why do you believe the things that you do? That get you back on track, and that you ultimately turn back into yourself, reflect on yourself, ask yourself why, and then decide how you proceed.
Do you ever regret any of your choices in terms of starting over, or you're pretty satisfied?
No, constantly. And I think that comes with the territory. I think you have to at least grieve the plans that you had or the mistakes you made along the way that kind of pointed you in a new direction. So I almost think it's disingenuous when people say they have no regrets. I think we all have regrets. You just have to learn to live with it at the end of the day.
Can you tell me about a time where you failed to hold that standard?
Oh. So there was a situation, not to go into any details, there was a situation that happened once with one of my friends, and I was like, no, don't worry. I think I will only do good to people that appreciate me, like people that see me as a valuable, as an asset.
Okay.
So I will keep my good to myself and only give it out when the person wants it. Like if you show me that you deserve my good, then I'll show it to you. But after a while, the Lord said, but that's not your purpose in life. I've created you to be good to people, so you can't hold yourself back just because of this person. Who are you doing it for? For human benefit or for your Father in heaven? That kind of shifted. So I didn't fully verge off that, but I know that I was in the line of. But thankfully for God, thankfully Holy Spirit calling me back to, hey, you have to stay true to who you are. You don't allow a human being to deter you from your purpose in life.
So do you have a destination on where you want to go, or you're more those, or you'll figure out along the way?
I think now more than ever, I'm starting to figure out what the rest of the picture looks like. I think I had to give myself some grace and opportunities to start over, different careers, different relationships, different religions, figure out what that looked like. I recently turned 30, and I think that was kind of the moment.
You're 30?
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, okay.
But I think that was kind of the moment where I was like, all right, we got to start figuring out what we actually want. And luckily that coincided with finishing law school and the rest of my life starting. So I do feel like for the first time I have more of a grounded path, and I'm leaving kind of the chaos in my 20s, hopefully.
Would you recommend these same morals to other people, or are these just the ones that work for you?
The 7 morals that I mentioned, you know, it's the framework for a soldier's life in the United States military. And I do think it's super important. Each one of those morals and each one of those values have direct impact on not only your decision making, but your drive, your focus, and ultimately how you treat others, and that motivation to continue going. So
Okay.
I would definitely recommend morals to anybody, not just those specific 7, but a set of morals that match up with who you are, what your purpose is, and the direction that you're going.
Now, do you recommend this to others, or this is just what you're gonna do?
This is just my path. A lot of people meet their soulmate when they're, you know, in high school, or they have a job that they love coming right out of college, and that works for them, and they stay on that path. And so I think if your path works, don't abandon it, and don't quit something just because it might seem like the grass is greener on the other side. I think you have to genuinely know that something isn't working for you anymore in order for it to be worth it to move on to something else.
Okay, I'm satisfied.
Okay.
Thank you.